Today's class will discuss about Fourier cosine transform and Fourier sine transform. In Fourier series module, you have learned cosine series and sine series. Similar to that, we have cosine transform and sine transform. So you know what is cosine series. Cosine series means as f of x expanded in terms of cosine terms, that is a naught by 2 plus summation a n cos of nx or a n cos of n pi by l x. Sine series means f of x is expanded in terms of sine terms, that is summation b n sine of nx or summation b n sine of n pi by l x. So you have learned cosine series and sine series in Fourier series module. Cosine series is for Fourier expansion of even functions. Sine series is for Fourier expansion of odd functions. So you have learned that in half range series also. So you know that if a function is not periodic, you can make it periodic by sketching the graph either symmetric above the origin or other side of the symmetric with respect to y-axis. So that way you will get the odd function or the even function. So correspondingly you can use the cosine series and sine series. So similar to that, we have cosine transform and sine transform. So you know that Fourier series is for functions of finite period. So here we have the range to be infinite. So let us start with the definition. So given f of x, what is Fourier transform? Fourier transform of f of x is defined as 1 by root of 2 pi integral x equals minus infinity to infinity f of x e power I alpha x dx. So given a function, you know to find the transform, or since the definite integrals are functions of constant alpha or solutions of constant alpha, we also write it as f of alpha or f cap of alpha. Now e power I alpha x is a kernel, f of x is a given function, so e power I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. So here we have cos alpha x plus I sin alpha x. Then we are splitting into two integrals, 1 by root of 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of x cos alpha x dx plus I times 1 by root of 2 pi f of x sin alpha x dx. Now as you did for Fourier series, you know that if it is odd function, you will have sine series. If you have even function, you will have cosine series. So here also, given a function, if it is odd, we can find out whether cosine transform or sine transform will exist. Or given a function even, we can find out whether cosine transform or sine transform will exist. So let us assume that the given function is odd. So if f of x is odd, we know that cos alpha is even. So f of x is odd, cos alpha is even, odd into even is odd. So by property of definite integrals, the first integral is 0. Whenever you have minus a to a type, you can use a property of odd and even functions. So if f of x is odd, we know that cos is even, odd into even is odd, therefore the first integral is 0. So second integral, f of x is odd, sine is odd into odd is even. So the second integral will be 2 times integral 0 to infinity. So by property of definite integrals, the first integrand is odd, so it is 0. The second integrand is even, so it is I times 1 by root of 2 pi 2 times integral 0 to infinity f of x sin alpha x dx, or I times root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x sin alpha x dx. So if f of x is an odd function, Fourier transform of the given function is same as I times the Fourier sine transform. We denote this by fs of alpha because we have only sine terms. I repeat, we started with Fourier transform of a function, and if f of x is odd, we have this integral. We denote this right side by fs of alpha because it has only sine terms. So if f of x is odd, Fourier transform of a given function is same as I fs of alpha, or in other words, if f of x is odd, f of alpha is same as I times fs of alpha. Transform of a given function is same as I times Fourier sine transform. Fs of alpha means we call it a sine transform. As you have sine series, here we call sine transform. Similarly, if f of x is even, then f of x is even, take up this expression. F of x is even, cos alpha is even into even is even. So the first integral will be 2 times 0 to infinity. Second integral, f of x is even, sine is odd, so even into odd is odd. The second integral will be 0. So if f of x is even, Fourier transform of the given function f of x or f of alpha is 1 by root of 2 pi 2 times integral 0 to infinity f of x cos alpha x dx. Why we say 2 times? Because the product is an even function. By property of definite integrals, it is 2 times 0 to infinity. So or f of x is same as root of 2 by pi integral x equals 0 to infinity f of x cos alpha x dx. So this integral has only cosine terms, so we denote it as fc of f of x or fc of alpha. So if f of x is even, Fourier transform of a given function is same as Fourier cosine transform. Fc means cosine transform. So remember, if f of x is even, f of alpha is same as Fourier cosine transform. Fourier transform is same as Fourier cosine transform. That is f of alpha equals fc of alpha. If f of x is odd, f of alpha equals I times fs of alpha, or Fourier transform of a given function is same as I times Fourier sine transform. Now we have the definition of cosine transform. Cosine transform is defined as fc of f of x or fc of alpha or fc cap of alpha as root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x cos alpha x dx. So in place of f of alpha, here you have fc of alpha and you have cos of alpha x. That is why we call it as Fourier cosine transform. So cosine transform is defined as root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x cos alpha x dx. Similarly, sine transform is defined as fs of alpha root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x sine alpha x dx. So you have three notations: fc of f of x or fc of alpha or fc cap of alpha for cosine transform. Similarly, fs of alpha, fs of f of x or fs cap of alpha for sine transform. Now similarly, the inverse Fourier cosine transform is defined as f of x equals, inverse means you will get back the function f of x. So f of x equals root of 2 by pi integral alpha equals 0 to infinity fc of alpha cos alpha x d alpha. Similarly, inverse Fourier sine transform is defined as f of x equals root of 2 by pi integral alpha equals 0 to infinity fs of alpha sine alpha x d alpha. So in place of c you have yes, in place of cos you have sine. So every transform will have inverse. So that's if you have cosine transform, you have inverse Fourier cosine transform. If you have sine transform, you have inverse sine transform. So you don't have to learn the proof for this formula. It's enough if you learn what is cosine transform and what is inverse Fourier cosine transform and what is a formula for sine transform and a formula for inverse Fourier sine transform. You don't have to learn the proof behind this formula. I will share the proof later. You can learn it for knowledge purpose. So it's enough from this part. It's enough if you learn what is cosine and what is inverse and what is sine transform and what is its inverse. Even this part is not required. You only should remember the relation cosine. If f of x is even, f of alpha is same as fc of alpha. If f of x is odd, f of alpha is same as I fs of alpha. You don't have to learn the proof for this relation, but you should remember the relation for doing problem.